Welcome to the Anime Podcast channel. My name is Benji, and today we'll be discussing chapter 1047 of One Piece, The Skies Above the Capital. And this chapter was good. I low-key just want to talk about the battle. Like, I don't want to talk about anything else. Like, the Momonosuke stuff was cool, and the Hyogudo stuff was cool too. But let's be real. Y'all didn't come to the channel to hear me talk about that shit. Y'all came to see the Kaido versus Luffy battle. Stop playing with me. Y'all came here to hear me talk about Luffy and Kaido throwing them hands. Mink. Stop playing with me. But I'll go over almost a little bit about everything, I promise. But before I start, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Me and my friends Nick, Phil, and Taj make weekly podcast episodes on all of your favorite anime and manga series. And if you haven't already, go ahead and join our Discord, one of the most flourishing Discord servers around. We literally talk about everything in our Discord. But without further ado, let's begin. So to start, we actually get a very beautiful, fabulous color cover spread of the Straw Hats basically on the beach with Momonosuke. And to be honest, my girl Robin is giving all the love in this cover spread. And I don't mean like that. And so was Momonosuke, but like really all the Straw Hats are giving some kind of love. The only one that I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed in was Zoro. He basically got like a little like mini image of himself. I think he was like, I don't know, cooking dogs or some shit like that. But I don't know, man. I wanted to see a little bit more Zoro, but it's all good. It's all good. And mind you, this is coming from a die-hard Sanji fan. You know, it's just human nature that Sanji fans and Zoro fans don't necessarily get alike. I love Zoro though. He's one of my favorite characters in all of One Piece. But also we get Jinbei, and my boy Jinbei is big body. You know, big body. Now, I don't like the way he's kind of laying out on the beach is more so like he's getting raised. But I don't know, it's just so funny to see Jinbei just kind of like in all of his greatness, all of his glory, just sitting down on like a lawn beach chair. But I don't know, I really like that as well. It's really cool seeing Jinbei's inclusion, especially in some of these color spreads with the rest of the Straw Hats, especially since it's been so long since Marineford, when we first got introduced to Jinbei. Not really even Marineford, it was more so Impel Down. And you know, from there to now, seeing him actually interact with the Straw Hats in color spreads like this is completely amazing. I love Jinbei, one of my top tier characters in One Piece. But on to the chapter, we're still getting a little bit of dialogue between Momonosuke and Yamato. Basically, Yamato is telling Momonosuke that he has to produce flame clouds in order to basically save the people of Onigashima. More so the samurai alliance. Now here's the thing, the flame cloud dialogue actually plays right into a little bit later dialogue with the samurai alliance and Hyogudo. And Yamato is doing her best job in order to encourage Momonosuke that he can actually do this. And this actually makes it more prevalent, especially after we get basically a flashback sequence of the time that Toka actually sent the Scabbards as well as Momonosuke into the future, 20 years into the future. And basically this flashback occurs when Momonosuke is trying to basically reason with himself, why is he doing this? Which I don't necessarily think. I think we've gotten a couple flashbacks of Momonosuke kind of like looking back on past events in order to gain the confidence to try to make these flame clouds. So I don't necessarily know what sparked this in the first place, but you know, I digress. I feel like Momonosuke should already have the intent and the willpower to go ahead. Think about it. He even took a shot at Kaido, the very man who killed his father. So, I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like Momonosuke should have all of the tools necessary without having to divulge into a flashback. But I think Oda kind of put this in strategically to show the depth between Toki and Momonosuke. But basically, the flashback is incredibly powerful, showing the unique bond that Momonosuke had with his mother. And it also shows how eager the Scabbards were to go forward 20 years into the future in order to avenge their leader, their fallen leader, Odin. And the thing that makes this so powerful is Momo just having to come to grips with this very crazy situation in essence. And he really has to like man up in such a short period of time. He's been doing that throughout this whole series since we actually met Momonosuke. Or at least when we found out that Momonosuke was Odin's son. We also get a panel during this flashback of Kinemon basically trying to convince Momonosuke that this is the samurai way. Now, I don't necessarily think this is disingenuous. I understand what Kinemon is going for. But Momonosuke is a kid, bro. Like, calm down, bro. Like, calm down just a little bit. But the panel that truly kind of broke me was Momonosuke basically saying this to his mother. Mother, I will be on my way now. And his mother just simply responds, yes. And his mother basically is crying, having to understand that at this moment, at this time, that this will be the last time that she ever sees her son. And unfortunately, she has to come to grips with her own death as well. Woo! Oda knows how to write a scene, boy, I tell you. But let's move on to the real for real. See how I did that? Kaido versus Luffy. Now we start off with where we left off, where Luffy was basically, I don't want to say this wrong. And to start, we leave off with where we left off last chapter, where Luffy was basically holding a lightning bolt directly at Kaido's head. Now, from what Kaido says, it seems like Luffy just has the ability to basically redirect lightning in certain aspects, which he considers a ridiculous power as well. But the thing about it is, like I said, a little bit later on, I do want to kind of see certain things like Gear 5th explained from Oda, especially all of the abilities. I know a lot of people are saying that he has Toon Force. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. Low-key, if he does, that would be crazy. But definitely from this panel alone, or this chapter alone, Luffy is top tier. I want to see what the power scalers are saying, because a lot of people are saying that Luffy is definitely big body in Naruto. But, I digress. But like I said, I want to get a little bit more into all of the powers that Gear 5th is actually capable of. What is, like, to be honest, it's such a, not necessarily a specific term saying this is the most ridiculous power in the world. Basically, he can utilize any kind of aspect of rubber. Rubber doesn't go through people's heads. Rubber isn't like this malleable, especially around like Kaido's Kanabo. It's really kind of crazy. So I do want to kind of see what happens, or what Oda kind of does to explain Gears 5th, all of its abilities and all of its properties as well. But yeah, Kaido during this fight, he wasn't playing. He was going crazy, not gonna lie. And one big thing that Kaido says though, and it's one thing that also say this while beating, Luffy's ass in Gear 5th. But Kaido says this: you can keep playing around if you want, but in the end, a strong devil fruit power isn't enough to conquer these seas. Look at Roger. He had no fruit power and still brought the world to heel. Only hurdles can only be overcome with haki. And then he uses a Death Destroyer Thunder Bagia. Kaido, boy, your bag is bottomless, my boy. Your bag is bottomless. But the interesting thing about this quote itself is that Roger, the great progenitor of the great pirate era, actually had absolutely no devil fruit. And we're talking in a world where devil fruits are very common amongst pirates in this era. The very guy who kicked the pirate era off absolutely had no devil fruit. And basically Roger said, I want to swim. So this just confirms something that we always kind of inferred to, that Roger already had. But this just makes Roger's stock go up tenfold, man. Like literally kicking off the pirate era and not having a single devil fruit, just using Conqueror's haki to basically command the world to his whim is absolutely incredible. And I think the same thing kind of goes for Garp. I do want to kind of see the God Valley incident. Hopefully Oda kind of gives us something like that. But definitely I know Roger and I know Garp were going crazy. And also this kind of gives me possible hope that Shanks wanted to utilize the same thing that his former captain had. Basically having a crew, seemingly a crew that doesn't have any kind of devil fruits. And this may also give a glimpse as to how Shanks' potential is, especially since he's one of the 4 greatest pirates in the seas right now. He's a Yonko. We can almost also infer that Shanks also doesn't have a devil fruit as well, especially since he got his arm cut off and he was in the sea, floating, so he didn't drown. So there's that. But moving on, Kaido is just moving around, beating Luffy's ass in all kinds of different ways, slicing and dicing this man. Like I said before, Kaido's bag is bottomless. His bag is so immense, it's crazy, dog. But briefly, we actually cut back to the Flower Capital, and we see Toko, and we also see Hitetsu. Now, the thing that makes this a little odd is I believe, and I may not be getting this right. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Hitetsu said that he wasn't allowed back into the Flower Capital, or he just didn't want to go just yet. Now I feel like Oda is setting something up for after, you know, this decisive battle is finished, where Hitetsu is going to reveal something that is, you know, very, you know, interesting. Now a lot of people are saying that he may be the original Shogun, you know, Odin's father, but I would really like to see kind of what happens in that aspect as well. But now we move on to some dialogue with Hyogudo. Now keep in mind that he's actually unaware that Momo is trying his best in order to, you know, prevent Onigashima from plummeting, basically killing everyone within Onigashima. But he's basically telling the Samurai Alliance that either we defeat Kaido and die falling with Onigashima, the island, or Kaido wins and makes us his slaves. A god-awful ultimatum, but it's one nonetheless. Now, Hyogudo basically asks which one would they rather have. And, you know, the Samurai Alliance basically say, fuck Kaido. I just want my kids to be safe. I want my kids to actually be able to be raised in Wano and not have to worry about, you know, food, not have to worry about shelter, not have to worry about, you know, Wano flourishing. I think that's commendable, but I just find this funny. They were basically like, man, fuck Kaido, man. I want Straw Hat to go ahead and beat him. Now, with all this being said, they all cheer on Luffy to basically go ahead and beat Kaido. But Oda, I see what you're doing here. Basically, we see a side panel of Kid kind of looking off in disgust from all the support of Luffy. Now, I don't know what Kid has in his bag, but there's either one or two things. Either he's basically just like mad and jealousy, or Kid may come back in some kind of way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna lie, if Kid comes back, that would be crazy. His durability is crazy. But the fact of the matter is, I don't feel like Kid is gonna come back. Obviously, that battle with Big Mom was OD. So he really went to work. Him and Law really went to work. So I do kind of want to see him, you know, just lay it down, let my boy Luffy get to work with Kaido. So moving on, we briefly cut to Usopp and Hamlet, and basically they're in the bottom of Onigashima. And the funny thing is, obviously, from last chapter, Jinbei and Raizo were able to flood all of Onigashima in order to prevent the fire. Now, it hasn't reached the basement just yet, so Usopp is still running. So the floods finally reaches them. And I don't know, this is like a nice little funny panel. I like seeing Usopp every now and then. I need a little bit more Nami and Robin, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know, we're good on that too. Now, before we get to this very final, awesome panel that Oda drew for us, we go back to the Hiyori and Orochi situation. And basically, Orochi is still burning, and basically he kind of reiterates that he's going to allow Hiyori to burn with him. I don't know what that means. But the thing that is actually pretty interesting, it looks like Orochi is able to transform still. I guess that he was able to unlodge the sea stone prism nail that Hiyori actually stabbed him with. But I do want to know why that happened in any case. But I'm tired of seeing this, man. Now, I will say the panel in which Orochi is actually being burned is one of the dopest panels we've seen of Orochi. He looks incredibly desperate in order to make something happen. He's really a bitch ass to his very core. Hopefully, we can finally get that Orochi pack very soon. I need that death. I need it, man. Even if Zoro comes back into the story just to kill Orochi, I'm cool with that. Then we get ZKO. Hashtag ZKO. Let's do that. Hashtag ZKO. I like that storyline. But ending the chapter, we get this. So we see Momo and Yamato looking absolutely stunned at what is in the sky. It's because Luffy has conjured up a fist that is bigger than the island of Onigashima itself. And like I said, bro, like this shit is really getting crazy because Luffy is really able to do almost anything he truly imagines, which is exactly what the Gorosei actually stated. And in the cliffhanger panel, basically he holds this fist right above Kaido's head, just like the last chapter. And it kind of makes me worry, does Luffy actually care about his crew? Because if he punches through Onigashima, all of his crew dies. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully we'll see what happens next chapter. But yeah, I'm not really getting Luffy's thought process with this, but I do think that he trusts Momo and Yamato to figure out a way to move Onigashima and for him to be able to hit Kaido in a way or something like that. He does say something along the lines of hitting Kaido straight through Onigashima, so maybe that's his goal. But other than that, this shit is crazy. But that's the end of the chapter, and there is a break next week, but I think that Oda obviously rightfully deserves another break this week. But this chapter was good. I mean, I think it would have been better if he left out all of the extracurriculars, but I think it was really good. But the one thing that I'm very interested to see is the comment made by Oda stating that Luffy is not going to be able to defeat Kaido with simply just a strong punch. I believe that this is that strong punch. I don't think that this is going to be the end of Kaido. I think he's directly referencing that in a way too. I think after this, either two ways, Kaido could go into his awakening that we'll see from his devil fruit, or we could potentially, but here's the thing about the awakening, especially with Kaido's comments like within this chapter, Haki is the thing that he wants to utilize the most. But don't get me wrong, he can still utilize his Haki with his awakened devil fruit. Now the only thing is, you know, either Luffy's going to have to bring out something in his bag that we've never seen before, and I've stated this in a previous video as well, or Kaido wins. And if Kaido wins, then Mr. March, you're a beast, my guy, because the raid fails. And also the kind of dialogue from Hyogudo, what does this mean? Does this kind of imply that the raid may fail in some certain aspects, and that basically all of their hopes and dreams that are like basically embowed in Luffy may be, you know, dead, unfortunately. But like I said, in my opinion, I do not think the raid's gonna fail. I think this is the decisive battle. I think Luffy's gonna come out on top and be able to open up the borders of Wano. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like I said, there's a whole lot of things that kind of be discussed. I want to know what you guys think. But with that being said, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. My name is Benji, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.